Welcome, cooks, to the Recipe Vault. Today, we're going to try out an easy yeast rolls recipe from Pennsylvania. So I have my bread machine dinner rolls, and I love that recipe. It's one of my favorites. This makes a little bit of changes. It's sweeter. It's got an egg in it. I wanted to try this out to see how they make easy yeast rolls in Pennsylvania, right? So welcome to the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen. Okay, today we are in Blakesley, Pennsylvania. This is our recipe vault. It's a handwritten recipe collection, sort of like your grandma's recipes in a recipe box. That's what we do every Sunday or Monday, depending on if I get myself together. We cook out of my handwritten recipe collections. Today I pulled out easy yeast rolls. Now, I know you're probably saying, Amy already has a pretty cool yeast roll recipe that so many people love. It's great for Thanksgiving. But this is kind of an interesting take on yeast rolls. It has an egg, it has butter, and it has quite a bit of sugar. I think this recipe is going to be a lot sweeter than my regular recipe. Almost to the point where I think you could even use these for like cinnamon rolls. That's how sweet it's going to be. So what mixer are we using today? We got the cast iron, right? We got the cast iron 7-quart KitchenAid Stand Mixer in the house today. I figured we'd pull this out and see what this baby can do. I'm going to double this recipe because if I'm going to go through the trouble of making bread, I'm not just going to make one loaf. So we're doubling the recipe that they have on here. I'm going to make probably rolls with one and maybe a loaf of bread with the other. So we're going to start out with some water, fairly standard, and some yeast. So they're using like one package of yeast, which is like 2 1/4 teaspoons. I'm using instant yeast, so I cut that down a little bit. If I would have doubled it, that would have been like 4 1/2. So I'm using 3 of instant yeast. We're going to go ahead and put all that sugar in here. Woohoo! And let's start getting this mixer going. You can put with instant yeast, you can put the yeast right in the flour. You don't need to proof it. That's on a 2. I have some butter here. I should have put this in like this. This is softened butter. So, if you guys probably know, if you want a crusty bread, you want to have a bread with no fat in it, because the fat will soften the bread. So this recipe is interesting because it has both eggs and butter. So they should be pretty tender. So here's our eggs. Let's get our mixer going here. So making bread is like one of my favorite topics. I actually I should have beat those eggs here. Whoop. So I'll break them up like this. Lightly beat the eggs before you put it in. Okay, my yolk is now broken. So this calls for 3 1/4 to 4 cups of flour. So I have 8 cups here. I don't think we're going to use that much, but hey, we're going to go for it, right? I'm going to put the salt in like halfway through this process. Should have got my beater blade.
Shoot.
Yeah. And I'm going to put our salt in here. So So I could autolyze this. I'm not going to. We'll do that in the next one. We'll do an autolyze. Pretty much autolyzing is when the dough comes together and becomes a ball and you start developing the gluten slightly, you turn the mixer off and you let it sit for like a half hour. This allows the flour to completely hydrate, and then you can continue mixing it or kneading it. We can do that next time. Let me feel this. Yeah, that feels good. So the more you break bread, the more you understand how something feels when it should be hydrated. I just squeezed the dough slightly and I felt that wetness. You don't want to put too much flour in it and then it's dry, right? You wouldn't have a soft, lofty kind of bread. Some bread is hydrated like 100%, where it has equal amount flour and water. And literally it's really sticky and very difficult to handle, right? We're not going that far with this. I just tested for a wetness in there. And we're just going to let this go. We're going to see what this KitchenAid can do. So one thing I wanted to show you is I'm not drying this dough out to the point where we're going to end up with a complete cohesive ball. This is kind of wet a little bit, and way down there it's sticking to the bottom some, but it's still stretching and going around. I'm not going to add more flour to get rid of that. I just want it to do that because I want it to be slightly stickier. So I have it on a 2. And see how that is kind of sticky down there at the bottom? I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to dry it out anymore. So this is going to be kind of fun because it is a little sticky. I'm just going to put some little bit of olive oil down on my board. I don't want to put a bunch of flour on that. So that defeats the purpose of my sticky dough, right? Let's see what we got here. Woo! Woo!
Feeling pretty good?
Sticky!
That's sticky.
It's going to be kind of fun handling it.
Do you need to spray your hands?
Possibly. I mean, this is nothing in terms of stickiness. People are going to tell me I'm a whim. Because there's people that handle dough that's 80, 100%. Over 100%
Right.
hydrated.
How's it feel?
Feels nice.
You need a different.
It's not overly sticky. I've made dough that's so sticky I couldn't handle it. I literally couldn't handle it with my inexperience. You can wet your hands to help when you have dough that's hydrated like that. Yeah, nice. I don't have a window pane anywhere close, but it's decent. It feels nice. Look at that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our mixing bowl here. We're going to go ahead and spray it. Spray it with some oil. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this, make it into a ball-like shape here. I'm just going to, drop it in there, flip it like that so it's coated. I'm going to go ahead and cover it up and we're going to let it do its first rise. So when it's ready, we'll be back. Okay, the first rise is done, and this has grown clear up to the top of this. Part of the reason why we ran to the store real quick, and we went to Aldi, and I got me a little pumpkin platter. Yay! So that's why it took me so long for this. So let's shape them. Okay, so let's see. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Doom. Doom.
Bye-bye.
Doom. Doom. Woo! It smells like yeast. That's for sure. Let me put a little bit of
A little sticky.
olive oil on here before I get crazy.
Can you get on your hands too?
Oh, nice. Nice. Down here, down my hand. That's very nice. Look at these. So we need to form our rolls, and usually I do dinner rolls about 2 ounces each. So I usually do dinner rolls about 2 ounces. I'm doing it 2.5 ounces because I'm going to do a little twisty roll, just to be extra. And I'll show you how to do them. They're kind of fun. Okay, so we have our dough here. And I'm just going to take, and this is how I round out a dinner roll. These things, you can slap them around, right? Don't think you have to be nice with them, within reason. So I usually just take the roll, cut my hand over the top, and just roll. You don't want it too loose with flour, so just put a little olive oil on it, and you can round your dough, right? That's how you get a ball. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have a little fun. So we're going to take this dough ball and we're going to cut it in half. So we have 2 little things here, right? And we're going to go snake them, right? Snake them. Snake them, snake them, snake them. Just take your hand and go back and forth and turn it into a little snake.
Do you have to beat
Or
it
a
up
log.
because it's going to retract on you, right? It's kind of elastic.
Crack a little bit. Not tragic amount. Just do that. This is casual. If you're a baker and you see how I do this, you'll probably be screaming, hollering. Because you're
Probably
going
going
to
to
say,
cringe.
I didn't get enough tension on them. We'll see how they even come out.
If you shut the door on one of them, that might get attention.
Kind of want them the same size, right? Like that. You could do a few of them and then let them rest a little bit and they won't spring back so much. So take those 2 ends and just go like this and go twisty, twisty do, twisty, twisty do, all the way to the end, right? So you got a little twisty do. And then you just curly cue it up. Curly cue, curly cue, curly cue it up. Get it at the end there and you have a little twisty do roll. See how that is?
There you
Cute,
go.
huh? And we have we're going to turn these into like little butter rolls. So we'll just put this on there. We'll see how they come out. I'll do 1 plate like this and 1 plate regular. So we're just going to round it out. Cut it in half. Like that. Twisty do. Put them together. Twisty doo-dah, twisty doo-dah, twisty, twisty doo-dah. And curl it up, curl it up, curl it up. Bring it together, wrap it around the bottom. There you go. Boom. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish these, and I'm going to do a tray just regular. And then we'll be putting them up for the second rise. Okay, so I ended up only shaping 3 that way. I did all the rest regular. And Eric decided he wanted a loaf of bread, so that's what's in here. So I put 1.5 pounds of the dough into here for a loaf of bread. And we're going to cover that. And I did these 2.5 and these 2. So we're going to, whoa. We're going to put a towel like this. And a towel. We got 6 rolls on this one. Like this. We're going to let these rise again. And then we're going to put them in the oven. So we'll be back.
No Aldi this time.
No Aldi this time. Okay, it's been about a half hour and we have rolls!
Oh.
And more rolls!
Oh.
And bread!
Oh.
So these are going into the oven. Just before they're done, maybe 5 minutes before they're done, we're going to butter these babies so we have buttery yeast rolls, right? In the oven! Ooh, these rolls are looking nice.
Oh.
Don't want them to slide out.
Don't want them to get too cold, do we?
So we're going to give them a little butter down. So these are the little ones I tied in a knot, obviously.
Want to be my friend?
Hello. Good looking. Hi, good looking. What you got baking?
Can't we be friends?
I'd like to be friends.
Come a little closer.
Butter my bun. Here we have a loaf of bread. Very simple ingredients, easy to make in your stand mixer. Oh yeah. One side rose a little higher, and usually that's because of shaping.
Can an oven, if it's not heating evenly?
Yeah, that can do it,
So
but
maybe rotating it a little bit might help.
mostly it's shaping now.
Yeah, I like to blame the oven. It'll be nice.
Okay, the bread is out of the oven. Here's all our rolls. I'm gonna get this bread out of this bread pan. Ooh. Now that is a beauty right there. Look at that. Woo! So here's our dinner rolls. So whether you want to make bread out of this recipe or rolls, these look amazing. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Look at our little knot looking buns. Those are so cute. Let me grab some butter. So the bread we want to fully cool before we slice it because it's got to set up, that crumb has got to set up. If you slice it too early, it'll look doughy, right? The rolls, we're eating these bad boys hot. So this is the versatility of a basic roll recipe. You can turn it into bread, a loaf of bread. You can turn it into these kind of rolls like this individually. You can put them into a 13x9 baker, butt them up together, and what you'll end up getting when you peel them apart is soft around the middle, right? Or you can form them into these little like knots. Look at that. Those are so cute. Mm-hmm. And so we will break this one open. Whoa. We will put some butter in here. Whoa. And we will let Eric try one of these babies.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Thank you, Boo-Boo.
And we'll take one of these, break it open like that one. Whoa. Fresh baked.
Spoiler alert. Breaking news.
Are they pretty good?
It tastes wonderful.
Definitely. So one of these things different than these compared to my normal dinner rolls, with all that sugar, they're a little sweeter. So to me, it's really going to depend on what you're serving it with. I think for basic Thanksgiving, I think the other rolls are better because you have, these are a little sweet to me for that. But these would be great to serve alongside that honey glazed chicken we had, that the chicken had a little bit of sweetness with it. These would complement that fantastically.
Applesauce.
Applesauce?
Uh-huh.
I couldn't even see you turn these into cinnamon rolls. So one of the things is, you'll notice these are a little yellower because they have the egg in there. They're a little richer because, you want another one? Why did I even ask that? A little richer than the other ones. Wow. They're fantastic. If you make these, you're going to love them. Absolutely delicious.
Before you go into that, the bottom has a little bit of a crust.
Yeah.
A little bit of crumb. And then the top is like really soft.
Really soft. The eggs and the butter will really soften it. I think we should make some hard rolls too. Is there a time where you want a harder, sturdier roll? If you're going to make little sandwiches at them or something, we'll do those too. I hope you enjoy these.
But for an easy recipe?
Simple. If you're a beginning bread maker, you're going to love this. Thanks for joining me. We're off to eat these rolls. I hope you enjoyed this.